W272EK 102.3 FM, licensed to New Bern, North Carolina. News, information, community awareness, education. The Mary Perkins Williams Show.
Good morning, radio audience. How are you today? This is a warm morning already, and you see me in the natural, the real me, no extra anything except eyeglasses. And these are my old pairs because I couldn't find my new pair. But I'm here, thank goodness, and things are going well. This is Awesome Radio, the Mary Perkins Williams Show, and I just happen to be your county commissioner for District 2. Awesome Radio, one of the best mediums we have right here in Pitt County. WECU are the call letters, and 1570 AM are the where you'll find us on the AM dial, 107.5, where you will find us on your FM radio dial, Winterville, Greenville, and you will find us all about. Today, oh my goodness, today, we had a wonderful weekend this past weekend. EPS alumni was in full-fledged. I didn't get a chance to go to any of it because I had family reunion, and they were here from, Winston-Salem, Delaware, Connecticut, New York, and you name it, and they all were wide open. Shopping. They love the pool that we have. They have participated in some of the local town. They arrived on Friday afternoon, and I tell you, I'm worn out. I've lost my most recent pair of eyeglasses, and I had to go back and get an old pair. That's why I keep them, so that at least I will be able to see something. What are we going to talk about today? History. July is a very strong history month. And this year, not only is it a history for historical black public schools for in this area, which EPS being and Pitt County being the county seat, it is also 250 years of celebrating the life and birth and activities of the United States. Happy birthday, United States of America. So we had fireworks from everywhere. On Thursday, I attended the fireworks at Bethel, the city of Bethel, and that's the only city in the northern part of Pitt County. And then I was with family the rest of the day. We were at all over the place. So this is one time in the year when you will find a lot of people who once lived here coming back to check us out to see if they want to return home and enjoy and participate with people from all around. And I have one senior who told me that I should always wear lipstick, and I'm trying to find it in my pocketbook so I can put it on. But you do have me in the natural today. It's too hot for makeup, and I need to stay in, be in, and go in. So I do have some kind of paint, lip gloss, and she will see me put it on. How's that? That's good. Right, so now I'm ready for her, because when she see me, she'll be going on about my lipstick. How are you? And it's good to see you. Seniors, today is your day. And I thought about, with all this history in the air, that I talk about the history of the contributions of the local people who serve and those of us who have remained here in Pitt County. Yes, I do have a little hair. See it? See? It's baby hair. It is fine. You know, I can reach up there and pull it, and it will spring back. See there? See what it does? So I do have some hair. Oh, well, I do have some hair, and I want to make sure you hear me. Good morning. How are all of you? Oops, I didn't turn my telephone off. So somebody is all up in the beeswax, and I don't know how to make it stop jumping other than turning that off, and it won't. I'm gonna just stroll it way down. That's what I'm gonna do. Just stroll it way down. Today we're gonna talk about local history for Pitt County. And this is the time of the year, the warm time of the year, that all of the secondary schools know that everyone knows that Epps is the county seat high school for Pitt County. Back in the day, it was C.M. Epps High School. And you find it now located at the corner of Nash and Fifth Street. There was a parade. I didn't get to that because of family. Too many family members here. And it was hot. And I had to keep myself out of the heat, as most seniors do. My doctor said one thing about aging: your skin loses its texture in that it is thinner in the summertime. It is thinner, and you are apt to catch in anything really. So as seniors, and I am a senior, and I am past 70. I'm not going to be like Jack Benny, stay 35 all the time. Because when I was coming up, Jack Benny was out there. Good morning, radio seniors. How are you? And not only did we celebrate the history of historical black schools, because it was elementary and middle school and high schools in Pitt County, just as it was everywhere else in the state of North Carolina. We celebrated on 4th of July. We don't have to, but it's getting hot, and so I guess we're going to have to find some air-conditioned places. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that Epps has been the leader this time, as it always has. There's nothing wrong in some schools having leadership roles, but all of the secondary schools turn out and celebrate the historical impact of the historical black schools right here in Pitt County. Even though right now we're all integrated, and in my area we have the community has always been integrated. We knew each other. We knew each other's family members. We knew each other's meals. We knew each other's celebrations. And we laughed, talked, played, and fought. But I've never known any of us to kill each other, no matter what the race, no matter what the economic background. We respected each other's life. And that's something that we just don't have today. Just before the celebration of 4th of July, my high school class, which is Bethel Union High School, Bethel, North Carolina, class of 63, had an unexpected death of a classmate. And so we had to mourn a class member. Not that we had to, but our class was so united that we use our brothers and sisters in the class as family. And there was 105 of us. And the reason I know that because back in the high school days, we had what they called the class composite. All of the seniors took pictures, and the photographer made a portrait of all of the classes expecting to graduate that particular year. Now, we weren't able to have yearbooks the entire time of the of each year. So every 4 years, uh, some schools put out yearbooks every 4 years, and our yearbook was the yearbook of 1962, I think. That yearbook was when we were in it. We graduated after then in '63. So it's just history is. Let me tell you. Let me talk about history. History is the foundation of everything. It is the beginning of a house. Guess what? You have to pour a foundation for the rest of the house to sit on. History for mankind is biblical. For me, it's biblical. And with Awesome Radio Network being a spiritual perspective and one of Christian morals and beliefs, then that's what foundation in life was on. There is no history that did not include Egypt, Mesopotamia, Babylon, way back, all of it. You get it in the Bible. You get it in history books. You get it from life. That's what history is, the foundation of a beginning of something. That's what history. And I was planning to bring my American dictionary and open it up and read various histories. But here's what I want to discuss today. As a senior in Pitt County, there are a lot of history sitting around still in life in the 90s. Some of them about to turn 100. And we are wasting that knowledge of our beginning to our society. We remain shut up in the house. We remain cooped up in the yard, sleep late, and not sharing the knowledge. And some of us were educated in more than one level other than high school. Some of us didn't get through high school, but we went and took up a trade at Pitt Community College. And back in the day, it was Pitt Technical School. We had to do something worthwhile for the survival of mankind. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know why we no longer, and I'm going to pull these glasses off or stick them on my face. I don't know why we no longer share our history. I don't know why. Because none of us can grow to be responsible human beings without something to recall what we used to be. And like today, I said, you get to see me in my naturals. I've always had puppy eyes, pop eyes, big eyes. I've always had very little hair on my face. And my mother and father was religious, and I could not wear makeup when I was in high school. But today I did put the lipstick on for you, Ella Redmond. I put the lipstick on because I heard what you said. 2 or 3, 4 years ago, I heard what you said. But today I had sense and I did not put my wig on. So now you see my natural hair, you see my natural skin, and you get to hear my natural talk. Hey, hey. I still have a sense of humor. Thank God for that. And I've been sort of good to myself because I think I still have all of my screws. I still have all five senses. And I remain to have some recordings of history in my brain, especially the family who came this past weekend who wanted to know. And are we kin to this one over here? I said kinship follows the blood. What your birth placed in you with blood, the cells and stuff, that's what kinships is all about. Now we have a caller. I appreciate the caller. Good morning, caller. This is the Mary Perkins Williams Show, and you're live and on the radio. Thank you so much for calling in. You're not calling in to talk on the radio? Well, you called the right number, 756. Oh, you come to talk. Or did they hang up? All right, well, listen. I want you to call back because I know you have some history. There are a lot of history sitting in the house, listening to everyone talk and listen to the young folks say they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm going to tell you something. They don't know what they're talking about because you haven't shared what you've done in life. You haven't shared your profession. You haven't shared your activities, and you haven't shared your memories. This is what we need to do so that our youth can grow up having some knowledge of their beginning. They were not hatched. Animals, the lower class animals, are hatched. Some of them are born. We are born, and some of us were taken out of the womb because the parent wasn't able to push them out, they say. And so therefore, we were birthed by cesarean. That's when we need the doctors to help us deliver the life that we carry on behalf of our loved one, our sustaining memory in this culture, and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Teachers, here is what I'm suggesting. Those of you who are retiring, we have young teachers retiring now. They scuffled through education themselves, finding their way, because we were shut up and said, well, things are different. The only thing different is we grow. The only thing different is all of a sudden we have something new that's placed upon us. The only thing different is that we have not exhorted ourselves into sharing what we know to be real, what we know to be truthful, and what we know to be right. We have not cultured, weaned, nor assisted with the rearing of our children. This is why the mayor and the city council, we got 1 minute, and we're going to get back to talking about why. And I want you to call in. The number to call is 756 200 8 756-2008. Call your neighbors, because I want you to call in, and I want you to tell why you think these teenagers, these young people that we have birthed into this world, our great-great-greats, because I had 3 at the family. I like to know why they have to be told by the government of Greenville that they have to be at home or in somebody's house at a certain time. And I don't know what the curfew is, but I find it insulting that my grands have to be told when to come home. I'll see you in a few minutes. This is the Mary Perkins Williams Show. Thank you.
Do you have documents
Not-
that need to be notarized? We provide notary services by appointment 252-756-3137.
This is Viewpoints with Kirby Anderson.
Lauren Valhusen asked a provocative question. Is the iPhone birth control? She cites a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research that concluded that the diffusion of the iPhone accelerated the post-2007 U.S. fertility decline. The researchers estimated that it could account for 1/3 to 1/2 of the percent drop. In her article, she makes it clear that she isn't saying that the iPhone made women infertile. Instead, her article and the research study argue that the spread of the iPhone and constant access to it affected certain behaviors. I think we all know what the issue is. These smartphones hindered the formation of relationships and led to less intimacy. Of course, we didn't need a massive study to understand what has been taking place. Smartphones decreased the amount of face-to-face socializing, while at the same time increased the amount of time spent alone. They also make access to pornography and other visuals that are destructive to positive social relationships. She summarizes the technical conclusions with these simple phrases. Phones made us less social. As a result, fewer people date and fewer babies are born. That may have led to fewer teen pregnancies, but in the long term, it resulted in our declining birth rate. In previous commentaries, I've documented the social and psychological impact of smartphones on the youngest generation over the last 2 decades, add declining fertility to this growing list. She laments that phones have turned us into awkward, antisocial puppies who can't handle eye contact, so we stand in corners at bars and don't talk to each other. This study is another reason why we need to put down our phones. I'm Kirby Anderson, and that's my point of view.
Go deeper on topics like you just heard by visiting pointofview.net. That's pointofview.net.
I am Miss Mary Cox. I'm Killer Thigpen's mother from Awesome Radio.
Awesome radio, yeah, it's awesome, awesome, can you feel it? Awesome, awesome.
News, information, community awareness, education. The Mary Perkins Williams Show.
Welcome back. This is the time that we talk about clocks. What's on the clock for you today, this weekend coming up? What are you going to do with you and your family? And how are you going to celebrate your weekend? I wish I could get Mayor P.J. Conley on this phone so that he can tell us what does he mean by a temporary, what you call it? A temporary curfew, and when does it leave? If he answers me, then I hope we can get some kind of input into it. Because in my opinion, my personal opinion, I don't think a teenager has enough knowledge of where they are today that they can take over their bedrooms, clean it up, and be right and be a part of the household in which they live. I would like very much for P.J. Conley to tell us. P.J. Conley is not on the phone. He is not answering. I would like to ask our mayor, P.J. Conley, how long will the curfew that he put on temporarily before the 4th, how long is it supposed to last? And what was the emphasis of the teen takeover that we know? Because I tell you, we sit home as seniors doing nothing except spoiling the grandchildren. I don't spoil mine. No way, Jose. They better learn something. And I would like for P.J. Conley to give me a call. And the number to call is 252-756-5008. Did I do it right, Madam Engineer? 252-756-5008. 756-5008. I know that our children doesn't appear to have much whatevers. When I say our, that means our, the young folks of the humankind in Pitt County. So that's what I mean. Not just the blacks, not just the white, but the folks that call themselves teens. And a teenager is from 13 to 19. All right. It's on, you're going to read it? Is PJ calling in? Is that PJ calling in? That's not PJ calling in. I would love for him to call today. Matter of fact, I'd love for him to come to this station. Okay, let me read what that says on the thing. Mayor issues temporary curfew for juveniles in the downtown area. Mayor P.J. Conley has proclaimed a state of emergency for the city of Greenville, establishing a temporary curfew for juveniles under the age of 18 in downtown Greenville to help ensure their safety. Now, isn't that a shame that we as adults got to have somebody to ensure our safety? Now, this is the time that we talk about various schedules of various activities. We have baseball, basketball. The gym is open. Now we have the football. Now, under the proclamation, juveniles younger than the age of 18 may not be in the designated downtown area during the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 p.m. It's a go home, get in the bed curfew. Be home at 10 p.m. and stay home until 8 a.m. beginning Friday, June the 26th, and ending Monday, June the 29th at 8 a.m. PJ, that meant they could get out and go crazy and act up on the 4th of July. The only exceptions for juveniles accompanied by a parent and juveniles engaged in lawful employment by a brick and mortar establishment, at a brick and mortar establishment. In other words, you got to be inside of a household of some kind, such as a restaurant or eating or a household or a gym or something of some kind within the designated area of the downtown of Greenville. It's a shame, parents, that the mayor had to tell the children when they go in and stay so they can be safe. The designated area is defined as Tar River to the north Pitt Street, to west Weed Street, to the east and Reed Circle, to the south. Do you understand? It's a shame everywhere downtown the mayor had to become a father of your children and tell them to stay home. That's what it is. He live in his house. He got them girls over there, and he's got to tell your children to stay home at night, 10 o'clock to 6 a.m., because they don't know how to act. We need to learn how to raise this village that we live in called Pitt County. It's a village. Pitt County is one of the largest landmass in eastern North Carolina. Eastern North Carolina exists from I-95 to the ocean. I-95 to the ocean. No matter what. That's what I call Eastern North Carolina. It's a shame the mayor got to be your daddy to tell you when they go in, keep your children in. You need to be teaching them something at home. Get the Bible out. That's a Bible that you started up on. Everybody went to school. I was in a meeting now, and I'm getting on a soapbox. I was in a meeting, and they were talking about elected officials. There was all elected officials up there. And they said, what can we do about the youth today? And I said, well, number one, we need to establish some boundaries for them, and we need to make sure they go to Sunday school. They said, Sunday school, you can tell she too old. It's a shame and a pity we think that because I say that your child should know what the 10 Commandments are, Thou shalt not steal, kill, rob, and do anything to anybody else that they don't want done to themselves. They don't even know what the baptized are. And they said I was too old because I was talking about the Bible. Where in the world did we stop teaching morals? Where? And why is it that church folks, because everybody at that event, for the most part, were adults. And we talked about, she's too old. That's what they said about me, because my response was, teach them some Bible. It's not in the school anymore. When I was in the school, and I got 2 minutes, and I'm going to get off this soapbox and go right back to this history lesson we talking about. When I was in school, we had to get up, sing a song, and we had to say a Bible verse, and we had to sing a patriotic song. My country, tell, and you know we didn't have a tune. And I do sing better than that. But that's what we sing. And we learned a patriotic song when I was in school. I don't know why this Board of Education in the United States think that these children don't need to know how to pray, that these children doesn't need to respect that comes out of the Bible. Do not kill, do not steal and rob and do something to somebody else so you don't want done to you. I don't know why is it that it is bad to say that you need to learn some respectable things in this world. I don't know why is it that these boards of education has not found it necessary for the children to know how to write their name, since some know on education and they barely print it with good letters. You don't even know whether they're making an A or an O or a C, because they leave the top of that A open, and so you don't know what they're trying to spell. I'm on my soapbox today. As an educator, you need to get your children in their soapbox and put them on the Bible and read something to them every day. Let them read to you. Maybe they'll get something. That this mayor in Greenville would not have to tell your children when to go home, like 10 o'clock. We had to be home when the sun went down, and the street light better not come on if you lived in the city. In the country, they didn't have one, so it was sun up and sun down for us. You see, there was always rules for us to follow. Always. This soapbox is wide open. Now, when you come back on this, I got 20 minutes, 30 minutes more, and I want you to tell me what was on your soapbox when you were reared up. You need to help us. Help us. And get out of the house sometime. Wait till it's dark and come out. You got 8 seconds. Call 252-756-5200.
Owning your own home or purchasing another one is not as complicated as it may seem in today's time. You are invited to a free homeowners seminar Saturday, July 18th, beginning 11 o'clock a.m. in Washington at 801 West 5th Street. I am a first-time home buyer, so do I really need a down payment? Or is there a special program out there for me? Well, this free homeowners seminar with Realtor Janessa Tetterton of Phantom Realty will explain the home buying process and will prepare us for home ownership. Let Janessa know to save you a seat at this free homeowners seminar. Register today by calling or texting 252-402-5891. That's Saturday, July 18th, beginning 11 o'clock a.m. in Washington at 801 West 5th Street. Free refreshments provided by sponsor Redemption Tabernacle Church, Bishop Dr. C.E. Tetterton, and Honorary Mother Tetterton. 252-402-5891.
Hello, this is Cheryl Davis. Thank you for listening to the Awesome Radio Network.
Awesome radio. Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome. Can you feel it? Awesome. Awesome.
News, information, community awareness, education. The Mary Perkins Williams Show.
Welcome back, audience. Today, you know, when I went off during the calendar time, I was on a soapbox. I was riding the soapbox and my horse and mule too, because we have missed our mark anytime you have a group of people in a church saying that you should not tell the children to learn the 10 Commandments, to learn to be tired, this is why the mayor of Greenville, go online if you don't know that I'm telling the truth. Go online, because I like to tell the truth when I talk, and see what was on the city of Greenville website. And I have tried calling our mayor. I have two mayors. Mayor P.J. Conley is the mayor of Greenville, which is a county seat. I have a mayor in Bethel, which is the mayor of the area for which I live, which is north of the Tar River. But anyway, here P.J. told us what he meant by downtown, the town. He didn't want the downtown, the teenagers to take over downtown. Now here's what the proclamation also authorized the Greenville Police Department to restrict or deny access to any area located or street within the city which such action is reasonable, necessary to protect public safety. Shame and a pity that your mayor got to tell your children how to act. If you live in Green Street and north of the Tar River and all like that, and you downtown at the town common, this area include the town common. You couldn't even walk down the town common on 4th of July. That's what that meant. You couldn't even walk down there. We used to walk by and watch throw bread out to see the fish jump. And the proclamation authorized the city mayor of Greenville authorizes the Greenville police area to police and restrict or deny access to any of those areas downtown located or street within the city of Greenville, such as, not the older people. If you're 19 and above, you could go down and spend your money at the restaurant. But otherwise, have the children home under protective care. Have somebody home with your children, because if you leave them 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds at home by themselves, they might be doing something in somebody else's house. So we need to start taking up the stick of rearing the village and training the child. We need to take up that. Yes, I am on my sermon today, wide open, because this wasn't recent that I was in this meeting. And it wasn't, and I don't want to be calling any name. It wasn't recent that I was there. But the comment was made that I was too old, because I'm talking about the children need to learn the 10 Commandments and the Bible verses. You know, my goodness, where is life going to begin and end then in that case? They don't even know how to act when they go to school. The school teacher got to spend time, put them in timeout, sit them in a corner. They only do that anymore. Now they send them to the principal office. Then you know they're not learning anything, because he ain't going to do but sit there with a ruler. I'll call your mom and tell your mama to leave work and go home and get you. I don't know what has happened to the duty of family where the children cannot be responsible, respond to their grandparents and their parents. You out working trying to make a nickel for a quarter to go downtown and buy bread. But yet your child cannot hear the neighbor say, look, you need to stop doing that. Don't be talking to my child. That ain't the way to be. A village. It takes a village. That's what we were reared on, Mr. Johnson. And there's a whole lot of Johnsons in this community. A lot of them, not only the one that own the Daily Drum, but there's a lot of Johnsons all down the Old River Road Johnsons, all over there by Rose High School. There, Johnsons all over. P. Drive Johnson. We have Johnson everywhere. We need to take on this shield of telling our neighbors' children when they're doing something wrong. And if the neighbor doesn't like it, then you know there is a problem. That's what you say. The elevator doesn't go to the top. It has dropped to the bottom. Now, this is what we need to do. Yes, I am in the natural on the social medias. If you want to see what I look like in the natural, I don't even have a wig on today because it's hot outside. I lost my glasses, so I do have on some glasses because my eyes are used to looking through lens. And the doctor went in and operated on my eyes. Look at that. See, I put them up on these glasses up on my face. I had my eyes operating on it, and he said he put in new lens. But I tell you one thing, the colors are so bright. But you know what bothers me is that the mayor of Greenville had to tell our children when to go in. And I used to call Mr. P.J. Conley, and he would answer my calls. I know he has me programmed. I know he does. So therefore, he's screening his call for me. And Mr. P.J. Conley, thank you for caring enough to put out a proclamation, you and your board, Greenville City Council, to tell the Greenville police to guard duty. Do guard duty like they did when we were put in detention at high school. Y'all know what detention is. Some of those rules, unfortunately, need to come back. Some of those rules that the school had need to be back in the school. Some of the rules that we were brought on need to come back. Tell them children, when it's the sun go down, if you live in the country, you need to be in this yard. And when the sun highs and the moon is up, you need to be in the house. And in the morning, when the sun before the sun rise and the moon is there, you need to get up and move around and do some chores like water your plants and do some things and work. You need to know how to do something other than dropping your pants. You know how to do something other than talking ugly. You know how to do something other than doing crazy stuff. And what's crazy? Whatever you do to somebody else that you don't want doing to yourself. That's what I call crazy. Yep, Mary Perkins Williams is on the horse, mule, donkey, because they used to ride all those things, and wagon today. Because it's not, I would be embarrassed if my grandchildren act like that. I'll get me a stick broom. You know what? I was cleaning up my family room, and I found my old broom, you know, that used to be made out of a light. It was not straw. It was some tall weed that grew about 4 feet, and it would be tannish looking like corn. And we put it together and make enough to fit into the hand. And you wrap string around it, made a knot, and then you twisted it all the way down to the very end, and you tied it off. And that was the broom that they used to sweep in. You know what? If some of this stuff went away, these children wouldn't know how to do anything. You wouldn't be able to sweep the floor. Wouldn't know how to, Lord, don't even talk about cooking and boiling an egg. Wouldn't even know how to boil an egg. It's a shame that your child can't fry one. Teach them something. Teach them something other than that nature telling them to do something that they should not be done. Every person has a computer, and that's called the head. The head. And I'm talking about the head that grow hair for everybody else to see. See, I got a little bit. It's still there. And I'm talking about that head that doesn't fall in everybody's pants. I'm talking about teach something. These villages need to learn to go back to that. If you have a HRC, what's that? Homeowners, or home community. What is it? HOA, home ownership association. That's what that is. If you have a home ownership association, put some of those old things that you grew up in your home owners association, so them parents will know, because some of them don't know what it means when they say keep your children home and stop breaking out my window. You know, they need to know something. They need to know that you had to spend your money to replace that window, just like their parents had to spend their money to replace the window in their house when it's broken. So they need to learn something, how to be respectful. RESPECT find out what to do for me. That's what Aretha said. Our songs that we grew on was our songs that we grew up on talking something. And you and don't talk about me, because if you saw me in the street and talked about what I said, now did I make any sense to you? How were you brought up? Because you know me. If you know me, you know I will say what I intend to say. I try my best not to insult you. But sometimes the truth does hurt. Sometimes the truth will set you free. Then you won't be shut up in the house all the time, scared that the neighbor's going to come out with something like a water gun and shoot you with water. You know what I mean? Because you know nowadays they don't know what to do with these things. And you know what? My father was a minister, and my mother was a deaconess in the school. And my mama had a 22 sitting up behind the door. And guess what? There was a shotgun behind the door, too, that my mama couldn't work because she tried to shoot it one time and it knocked her down. So everybody got to know what respect is, you know? And so, if we did that, then our education would go far. If we did that, then that brain that we have in this thing called the head, and it's at the top. It's at the top of the head. If you're on social media, you'll see me working my hand. Now, here's what PJ said in that proclamation. In recent months, we have seen in other cities an increase in organized, quote, teen takeover. You let them come over there in the country and try to take over somebody else's property. You'll get a shotgun shot up in the air. And you leave the city and go out there and try to do some of this crazy stuff. You know, people crazy that if these people put on camouflage pants, had no respect, than to walk in and the little girl on television looked like she was scared and was scared to move and breathe on TV and didn't know what they meant, because she didn't know history. When you saw it on television, you could see the fear in her eyes, and you could tell her heart was pumping when she showed up in that slew of men in these camouflage pants and these army green shirts in there. And then there was another lady who didn't look as dark as she did, with her leg crossed and smiling, and you could see her dress split all the way up to halfway her thigh. But you know what? She was happy. And the other girl was fear all in her eyes, all in her body. You know, you can read bodies. If you talk to people, you can read their face sometime. Of course, I have not been able to do that. My children tell me, my mama just missed what the person was saying. Well, everybody has some sense of sensibility. I may not know that this man was hitting on me, Eric. I may not know that he was trying to say something nice and he used word that I didn't like. And I told him off. So I may not know that, because that's not my upbringing. And if he didn't know how to talk with respect, he just missed his point. And I missed his goal. And I just went on down the road saying, "Don't talk to me like that," and mumbling to myself, because you know what? I'll do it. I will. And we need to do some more of this. Get out of the house, seniors. Share. You can find a way to say to them, is something burning? I smell something. I have sinus, and I smell wire burning. I don't know if there is, sometime the fluorescent lights will put out something. You might need to check it. I do smell wire. Is it this cane I'm raising that's coming at? But all of a sudden, my nose picked up a scent. I told you I still have 5 of them. And I do smell something, and I don't think it's this microphone in front of me. But I want to say to you, seniors, that scent made me get off my soapbox. And I want to say, find something to volunteer with. Don't sit home until the good Lord take those senses from you through something called dementia. Old timers, Alzheimer's for the people who don't pronounce it right, or I can't think of the proper name, but senility is another word from the old time days. Here's what PJ said. I start with takeover events involving large gathering of unaccompanied minors, some of which have escalated into disorderly conduct and violence. It really shouldn't be someone else in any kind of position telling your child that they're doing something that is harmful to someone else. Greenville Mayor P.J. Conley made these statements in his proclamation. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor P.J. Conley. Thank you. And give me that smile. Yes, I'm talking about you today. And now everybody see you going to say, Mary Perkins Williams, we're talking about you on Awesome Radio. You better listen to her sometime because she went on and on. She delivered a sermon about you, but you did what you had to do and what you should have done. And thank you so much for doing that. To protect the citizen, especially our youth, is this city's top priority. That's in your comment on the proclamation on the Greenville website. And you know what? If we go to the website, we can find a lot of information for Pitt County government and Greenville mayor, because some of these adults are like these children done gone wild too. So, you know, they do. And we don't know how to respect one another. The temporary curfew that the mayor put in is an additional authority provided to law enforcement will help us maintain a safe environment for them. We also encourage parents, mentors, and trusted adults to play an active role in helping our young people make responsible decisions and stay safe. And you know what responsible decision come from? Responsible decision comes from the Bible. I got 2 minutes, and I spent my whole self today, because I don't have my eyeglasses and I can't read to you. They just see my eyes there. And I have some when I go outside. Yes, Mr. James Rose, I have my other glasses when I go outside because I have light sensitive eyes. Oh man, look at me. I looking good today. My blue Pitt County shades on. At least the sun won't hurt my eyes when I go outside. And at least I will be able to see, because I can see real good. I just can't read up close, but I can see real good. And one eye is better than the others. But you know, those senses gone. They tell me I got an ear here that don't want to act right. And then I guess when the doctor that my primary care dear referred me to, give me time to have my MRI that my ear doctor want me to have. I guess I'll get scheduled with it, because when my mother said, there's no need for me to pay for you to get an education, and I got 54 seconds. No need for me to pay for you to get an education, and you don't use it in your head, that you don't use it to tell the rest of your body what to do with it. So now, that if that ain't good sense, I don't know what is. It's common sense, because my mama was uneducated.
WECU,
Thank you so much, and I'll
1570
see you next
AM
week.
and
This is the Mary Perkins Williams
W298BX
Show. Signing